Friends, recently one of my relatives, she is in her teens. I heard that she told her mummy this one, the following, that mom, we should not care for anybody who does not pay for us, who does not do anything for us. If they don't do anything, they don't have any say. In money terms, she means. This is very sad for me personally, that children are thinking in this way. But it is not surprising though, because as our generation and as earlier generations, we have the sin of commissions and omissions. We have omitted to do a lot of things that we ought to do. We have not done these things. We have not put enough thought. We have not put enough energy and focus on some dimensions of society that we ought to have solved long back ago. So what happens is, the next generations inherit the results of our commissions and omissions, and they may, this is the result of it. So it is very sad. Why I say it is sad is that if every human being in this world learns that only me and my people who I pay for and who pay for me, they are my people, and otherwise they are not my people. If this is, and I am not concerned about them, as long as people don't interfere with me, I don't interfere with them. People don't fight with me, I don't fight with them. Everybody, we have only contractual relationships with others, and everybody is for themselves, not for us, and we are not coexisting together, but we ought to coexist, but we try not to fight, and we just remain like that. We look after our own peace, and we look after our own pleasure, not even welfare, and let them seek their pleasure. There definitely will be struggle because the resources are limited, but why bother? That is the rule. These are the rules of the game, and therefore we don't need to think about society or community or what is morality, or see, I don't often talk about this word, I use this word morality, but in this case I have to, because morality, many people think it is subjective, which it is not, but we have to have a careful study to understand why it is not subjective. But without morality, the world might not have come so far, for sure. So we all agree on that. Therefore, so in this generation, they are, with this one statement, they are just saying all patriotism or any adherence to community, any sense of belongingness to the society, all of these things are all useless, and therefore they have concluded that they are not going to contribute to anything of this sort, and they will not accept anybody interfering in whatever they want to do. If it is legal, if it is not legal, today I saw a video wherein the work culture of USA and France is being compared, and the France person is off the duty. Two women are talking. One is from the US. US is the boss, US one, and she calls at 6-8 p.m. and the French one says that I am off the duty. Why did you call now? At 5 we get off the duty. So she said it is only 6. And French person says it is 6-8. So they are very particular, and the French person says that we only work for 5 days a week. Of course, US also does that, but we are shortly going into 5 weeks leave, paid leave for the year. So 5 weeks paid leave they have, it seems. I don't know. Anyway, why am I saying this is, if it is not contractual, I don't bother, and if it is not legal, then if I still want to do, what this French woman in this case says is, ask the USA person, because the USA person was impressed by, oh my god, 5 weeks of paid leave per annum, that is a dream. So what this French woman says is, see, fight for your rights, gather people who are like-minded with you, and protest in the way like taking a shit in the river, or destroying public property, etc., so that the government is forced to make laws in favor of workers, and whatever they want to do, the law must support. So this is the position of the law. Law ought to have its base in justice, not in protests. Nowadays, everywhere, laws are formed according to the kinds of protests and according to the intensity of the protests. Laws are being formed, which is not right. A law must have its footing in justice, the principle of justice, and the principle of justice must have its footing in the truth. Very, very important, in the objective truth. Nowadays people say truth is also subjective. Your truth is different from my truth. Your values are different from my values. Maybe they say then they will say that your justice is different from my justice. So the world is increasingly getting divided into further more pieces, which is very sad. So let us come back to her, the relative of mine, the teenage relative of mine, who says this, that we don't need to care, mommy. And the worst part is, the mommy is so elated, mommy is so excited that she has learnt a great thing from her daughter today. That she tells me that I have learnt a great thing. See, this is the culture we need to have, but back in India this culture is not there, etc. So I don't know what to say to that, because anyway, it doesn't matter what I think about it, but whether is it good for the world or not. So some people, not just some random people, very people who are placed in a very high position, very responsible positions where even Vivekananda's words will be interpreted through them, and their words of interpretation of Vivekananda will be taken as authentic interpretations of Vivekananda. So such people also told me that if I think about the world, I have a savior complex. This is the word they used, savior complex. The savior complex means you think you are the savior of the world. World is dying without you. World is waiting for you to save, to be saved, and you are a savior. You are the superhero in the superhero movies. So they're mocking my concern for the world, sitting under the very institution which Vivekananda founded, wearing that dress, representing themselves as children of Sri Ramakrishna and brothers of Vivekananda. It is so very shameful that this is happening, because if you have a different identity than Vivekananda and Ramakrishna's son, then you can talk about whether you have a savior complex or not. But if you truly believe that being the children of Sri Ramakrishna and brethren of Vivekananda, that itself is your identity, and if Sri Ramakrishna and Vivekananda are saviors of this world, then it is your bound duty, you are a bound slave to them, and it is your great duty for which you take breath every day, every minute. Every day you live to serve the cause of Vivekananda and Sri Ramakrishna, and they are the saviors of this world. That is what you believe, at least, right? If you do believe, then a little bit of that savior attitude will be there inside you. What is wrong in it? But that is not a complex, because a complex is something that is quite negative and it is a sign of weakness. It is a sign of confusion. Where is the confusion? Vivekananda wants to save this world. Sri Ramakrishna wants to save this world. It's not just a desire. There are such great people that you who don't have any relationship with Vivekananda or Sri Ramakrishna have come from Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Argentina, Germany, Australia, America. From all these places you have come, and you have renounced all the pleasures of the world, and you are living in His name. Therefore, you are the proof, living proof that they are capable of saving this world, and they are extremely important and significant for this world. So, as such, how can you say it is a complex to feel concerned about the world? If it is a complex, then so be it. So what? I don't care. Okay. If being concerned about children as a parent is a complex, so be it. So we have many new terms coming up in this Gen Z or Gen X, etc., whatever they call. So this savior complex has been discovered much earlier, and this phrase has been coined somewhere, and even in 1970s or 80s it is written in Prabuddha Bharata editorials. So he showed that editorial to me and said that if I am concerned about this world, I have savior complex. Now this is very important, so I brought it up. It is not with the savior complex that I am saying that this is so very bad for the world, this attitude of thinking, but it is out of genuine parental concern, and it is out of a dutiful feeling that I am doing this. If somehow we are able to give better education that involves heart that can feel for everybody in this world, education that involves a head to be able to solve all the problems in this world, education that involves the practice of the hand, the art of serving everybody in this world, that kind of education can be given, that kind of value education can be given. When I say value education, the value of everything, the value of life, the value of a human being, the value of humanity as a whole, the value of anything that you see, the value of money, the value of a relationship, the value of trust, respect, care, guidance, affection, love, glory, gratitude, reverence, such values, if we are able to understand them and pass on to the next generation, not just through lecturing or not just through constant theorizing, but through incidents in life, through environment and through a particular model where the children can live. Only then the children of the next generation and the next generation will be able to think about this world properly and solve the problems that this world is infested with. Otherwise, we are all living just at the mercy of Kim Jong-un or Vladimir Putin or Joe Biden or Narendra Modi or Nawaz Sharif, etc. These people all have their hands on the nuclear button. They can end our lives any day, any time. The missiles just come flying at us. There is no way to escape. Even if the missiles don't hit us, the radiation we will die. Therefore, if we don't go back to fundamentals of life, the very simple fundamentals that every human being, for example, wants to be happy. Number one, every human being wants to know as much as possible. Every human being wants to coexist with every other person, wants to cooperate, therefore, wants to work for everybody's welfare. Every human being wants to not only keep himself or herself happy, but also keep anyone and everyone happy, provided that person has the means or capacity. Everybody wants justice, and everybody is willing to do justice if there is capacity, and such other fundamental things. We need to go back to these fundamentals, and we need to also analyze what things are available right now, what are our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, and analyze these things, form system accordingly. It definitely has to come top down model. Bottom up model is not going to, it is going to take forever, and there is not enough tapas shakti in this world right now that can create, that can conjure up a movement from grassroots that can bring in change in this thinking. Therefore, the initiative must come from top down. So I don't know, I hear that I am also wishing things and unable to do much in this, but I am doing whatever is in my hands for that. Try to conserve values, and I understand this thinking that my teenage relative mentioned is born out of a very leftist ideas that say that I don't care about any any collective institution. I only care about myself, and even amongst the group that I call a family, my personal happiness comes first, and that is obvious, it is natural, because everybody wants it. So that is only what they are able to see now. So they cannot help themselves to have a higher point of view. But as parents, it is our duty to be able to pass on the higher point of view to them. Really, it is not so simple to address this line that she mentioned comprehensively in one video. Therefore, I am just leaving it here for you all to think about it. If teenagers today think that they do not need to be answerable, accountable to anybody, they do not need to care anyone or any institution, that does not do that does not pay them something, that does not directly help them, then what kind of a world will we see in the future? This is the thought we need to think carefully and deeply, and hopefully we need to correct this kind of thinking in a very constructive way. And next generations, they demand education be given in an entertaining way. So hopefully we will be able to find some sort of midway where we can have some kind of entertainment also in the presentation dimension, while presenting deeper truths and significant concepts in life. Thank you.